In a startling occurrence that has deeply unsettled the serene neighborhood of Manoa in Honolulu, Hawaii, it is suspected that a father was responsible for the deaths of his wife and 3 children, followed by taking his own life. This tragic event, unfolding within the confines of the family's residence, is being characterized as one of the most severe acts of violence witnessed in Oahu's recent past. Local authorities have reported that police were alerted to the distressing situation by a concerned neighbor who heard a disturbance emanating from the home on Sunday morning. Upon reaching the location, officers were confronted with a harrowing scene. 5 individuals had suffered fatal stab wounds, comprising an adult woman and 3 children aged 10, 12, and 17. The perpetrator, identified as the husband and father of the victims, was also discovered deceased. The eldest Oda child, Sakura Oda, a 17-year-old senior at Iolani School, succumbed to multiple sharp force injuries. Her brother, Orion, a 12-year-old 6th grader at the school for examining essential questions of sustainability public charter school in Nuuanu, passed away due to sharp force wounds of the torso, as reported by the medical examiner's office. Additionally, the youngest Oda child, 10-year-old Nana, who attended Manoa Elementary School, also perished due to sharp force wounds of the torso. During the investigation, authorities discovered that, in the latter part of 2023, Paris Oda expressed his financial struggles, stated Thoems. He was falling behind on car payments, tuition, and loan payments. He confided in a relative about his predicament, stating it was his duty to rectify the situation. Paris also discussed his concerns with his wife, and although they implemented some adjustments, the financial difficulties persisted. In January, Paris Oda engaged a real estate agency to sell a secondary property in Aiea. The following month, he informed his wife that he had neglected to pay taxes for several years and was experiencing a shortage of clients at his chiropractic practice. Subsequently, he commenced working as an Uber driver. In mid-February, Paris texted his wife, expressing the need to plan for it, as stated by Thoems. Further elaborating, Thoems mentioned that the couple had previously deliberated on ending their lives and those of their children. He said he could not take it anymore, and he told her that their children needed to come with them, because no one could take better care of them than he could, Thoems revealed regarding the text message exchange. Naoko attempted to remain optimistic and supportive of Paris. She proposed relocating to Japan with her parents, but Paris expressed that he was exhausted and had reached his limit. Paris began to withdraw, becoming increasingly quiet and distant. Paris Oda's financial worries escalated in March as the tax season loomed closer. He engaged in discussions with a realtor regarding the potential sale of their primary residence in Manoa. He told relatives that he would rather die before going to jail for unpaid taxes. At that time, he also said that he would kill his family and burn the house down, Thoems disclosed. Around the same time, Paris Oda messaged someone requesting a gun, but that person never replied. On Sunday, HPD patrol officers responded to the Oda family's residence at 3622 Waloa Place after receiving a 911 call at 8:34 a.m., reporting screaming in the vicinity. However, upon arrival, the officers were unable to locate the caller, as per Thoems. Despite approaching the residence and knocking, they received no response and did not hear any screams. A conversation with a nearby resident revealed that they also had not heard any screaming. The officer then requested the 911 caller be called back, but because the caller had used an international phone number, Thoems said the communications officer could not call back. HPD is currently working to upgrade their system to call back international numbers. After checking the area around the home, the officers documented their findings and left the home shortly before a.m. At 9:15 a.m., the same 911 caller contacted emergency services once more. An officer revisited the Manoa residence and encountered the 911 caller standing in front of the home. The caller identified herself as a tenant of the Otis Manoa residence and appeared visibly shaken, according to the officers. At 9:15 a.m., the same 911 caller contacted emergency services once more. An officer revisited the Manoa residence and encountered the 911 caller standing in front of the home. The caller identified herself as a tenant of the Otis Manoa residence and appeared visibly shaken, according to the officers. The responding officers promptly inspected the front door, confirming it was locked, as per Thoems. Through a window, an unresponsive individual could be seen. Despite calling out, they received no response. Subsequently, officers accessed the residence through the back door and discovered the deceased suspect, 46-year-old Paris Oda, with stab wounds, lying in a pool of blood in the hallway. The officers then searched every room of the house, where they found 48-year-old Naoko Oda, 17-year-old Sakurako Oda, 12-year-old Orion Oda, and 10-year-old Nana Oda, who had all been stabbed to death. Thoems said the 4 victims had defensive wounds on their hands and wrists. It is highly likely that the life-threatening injuries they sustained led to their deaths within a few hours of the incident, stated Thoems. Investigators deduced that the stabbing occurred around 2 or 2:30 a.m., based on information provided by the tenant. The tragic incident has plunged the Manoa community and the wider state of Hawaii into a state of grief. Honolulu Police Chief Joe Logan and Mayor Rick Belangiardi have each released statements expressing their heartfelt condolences to the families and loved ones of the victims. They underscored the profound impact of the tragedy on the community, offering support and solidarity during this difficult time. This incident stands as the most significant mass killing in Honolulu since the infamous Xerox murders of 1999, during which a man fatally shot 7 of his coworkers. The infrequency of such violent crimes in Hawaii only intensifies the community's sense of disbelief and sorrow. As the investigation continues, the community of Manoa and the broader public are left to grapple with the ramifications of this tragedy. Police are interviewing witnesses and reviewing security footage, and counselors have been dispatched to support the officers who responded to the scene. Meanwhile, the community mourns the loss of a family described by neighbors as typical and festive, a stark contrast to the horror that unfolded within their home. The tragedy serves as a sobering reminder of the underlying issues that can precipitate such devastating outcomes. As further details emerge, there is hope that valuable insights can be gleaned to help prevent similar occurrences in the future. As the Manoa community grapples with this heart-wrenching event, they come together to support one another, honoring the lives lost and seeking comfort during this trying period. The city of Honolulu and its residents stand united, extending their thoughts and prayers to all impacted by this tragic incident. The devastating events that unfolded in Manoa have plunged a community into mourning and left an entire state reeling in shock. The incomprehensible loss of an entire family at the hands of one of its own members is a tragedy that defies understanding. Such acts of violence reverberate through the community, leaving behind questions, sorrow, and a quest for understanding. As the investigation progresses, it is crucial for the community to come together in support of one another and seek healing from this traumatic ordeal. It also highlights the urgent need to address mental health issues and ensure the availability of accessible support systems to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The Manoa tragedy will remain etched in memory. It serves as a poignant reminder of the imperative to protect communities and ensure that individuals and families in distress receive the assistance they require. It is the community's fervent hope that from this darkness emerges a renewed commitment to fostering a society where such tragedies are consigned to history.